Yasmin Chikafi. Yasmin Chikafi was a Moroccan woman born in 1978. The 43-year-old lived in Maida Vale, West London with her 2 teenage sons. Yasmin was a qualified childminder. She'd worked in a school as a teaching assistant and was studying for her master's degree. Yasmin was described as a really kind person. Yasmin Chikafi and Leon McCuskey had been together for about 3 years. Their relationship ended several years ago, but Leon continued to harass and stalk Yasmin. Yasmin managed to obtain a divorce from Leon around 2019. Zayn, Yasmin's teenage son, stated that living with Leon was like hell on earth. I remember coming home from school thinking, how am I going to protect my mother tonight? No child deserves to go through that, he said. One of Yasmin's neighbours told The Guardian that Leon used to beat Yasmin up when he was there. The flats were built only about 12 years ago, so they were well insulated and soundproofed, but she could still hear clumps and thumps and hear screaming from Yasmin and shouting from Leon. I would knock on the door and there wouldn't be an answer, but then it would stop because he knew someone had heard. It was at all times of day and night. She stated that Leon would bully Yasmin, that she wasn't allowed to speak to anyone or have any friends. He controlled her whole life. She stated that Yasmin never looked happy, but after he left, she started talking to people and she was finally getting back to herself again. After the marriage ended, the abuse still continued. Yasmin obtained a restraining order and the police fitted the house with a panic alarm. Yasmin had told one of her friends that Leon had placed cameras in the house and he'd been recording her for months, that Leon had stolen her mail and her phone, and he had access to all of Yasmin's personal data. I think he will kill me. I've tried everything, she said. Yasmin ordered a stalking protection order against Leon. Leon was barred from contacting Yasmin directly or indirectly, but continued to live close by. Yasmin's son would see Leon near the house and he'd regularly feel as though he'd have to go home to protect his mum. Leon consistently breached the orders and eventually on the 4th of January 2022, a warrant was issued for his arrest after he failed to appear in court. The warrant stated that Leon should be held without bail. On the 24th of January 2022, at around 9 a.m, Leon brandished a knife and stabbed Yasmin multiple times just meters away from her home. Members of the public tried to intervene. Leon continued to stab Yasmin. As he tried to flee, a member of the public saw the attack and drove his car into Leon in an attempt to stop him from escaping. Both Yasmin and Leon were declared deceased on scene. The driver was arrested by police but was later released with no further action. The driver, 26-year-old Ibrahim, has been considered by police to be a key witness to the case. Yasmin's cousin said that Yasmin was probably the smartest and wisest woman she knew. She was just a simple, loving, amazing woman. I've never seen anyone compared to her parenting, as a person, and her heart. She was always forgiving. She never really liked to speak bad about people. Ibrahim, the 26-year-old driver, released a statement through his lawyer saying, I hope that in my actions a message has been sent to society. Should you see an evil, it is a duty upon you to stop it with your own hands. If you cannot, you should stop it by speaking out. And if you cannot, then at the very least, you should hate it with your heart. May peace be upon you all.